Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alicia and today I'm doing the Cozy Autumn book tag. Just ignore the Christmas decorations behind me. This tag was originally created by the Book Bell and I was tagged by V at the Sassy Library Fox. So I know it's December and everyone associates December with winter, and I have a December birthday. And I definitely say I have a winter birthday. Even though technically I have an autumn birthday, it just doesn't feel right. Just because of how the seasons line up. Autumn doesn't technically end until just a few days before Christmas, actually. But I still sometimes I consider this to be winter, but technically it's still autumn, so technically I'm still in time to do this tag. To get started with the questions, the first question is, what book always reminds you of fall/autumn? And that for me is definitely The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This is my favorite book of all time. You are probably sick of hearing about this book. This book also is just like fall vibes in a book. It's all crisp leaves and caramel apples and, you know, just the fall feeling is very much what this book gives me every time I read it. And I think I've mentioned before on this channel, I went and heard Erin Morgenstern speak after her second book came out, and she did talk about how unintentionally this book became very inspired by fall, and then the second book she released, The Starless Sea, again unintentionally just became very inspired by winter. So then she joked that she's just making her way through the seasons and her next book will be very much a spring book. Although I really hope it is, because that sounds really good. Next is, what is your favorite autumnal book cover? I think I'm going to go with A Psalm for the Wild-Built, partially because it's right here. And partially because, I guess maybe you could argue this is more spring, but there's a lot of, because of the flowers, but there's a lot of leaves on this cover, and the leaves are all orange and yellow, and so I definitely associate that with fall. There's a lot of orangey, yellowy colors, which feel more fall to me than springy. So this is what I'm going to go with. An argument could be made that it's not really a fall cover, but I really think that is up to interpretation. Question 3 is, what is your favorite autumnal drink to read with? Honestly, I don't make beverages very often to read with. Like, I love hot chocolate and I love tea, but it's almost like a little bit of a special treat when I make them for myself. Most of the time I'm just drinking water, because it's easy. It just comes out of my tap into my cup and then I'm done. So it's not really an autumnal drink, but it is my favorite drink. And it is my favorite drink to read with because water is magic. Question 4 is, do you prefer to read late at night or early in the morning? Late at night. I feel like everyone, almost everyone, I know Sandy did this from Miss Reads a Lot, and I know she reads early in the morning, but pretty much everyone else I feel like I've seen who has done this has said the night, and I am the same. I have never ever been a morning person. My parents like to tell a story of when I was young and I didn't wake up on Christmas morning until they came to wake me up because my siblings wanted to open presents. And I said, can't we do it later? Like the complete opposite mood of every other kid who's just like up and ready to open presents. I was like, the presents will be there later. I can sleep now. That didn't fly. My parents were like, no, your siblings have been awake for hours. We gotta do this. So I've always been a night person, and I definitely prefer reading at night. Question 5 is, Halloween is coming. What is your favorite spooky read? I don't know. I feel like I've been getting a little bit more into spooky books. but I don't feel like I have a favorite book that was really spooky. I guess I'll say for this, actually, The Diviners by Libba Bray. I ended up liking this book and the series a lot more than I thought I would. And it is the book that comes to mind that has the best spooky feeling for me. Because even some of the other mystery and thriller books I've read, like, for example, Agatha Christie, who I love, but her books aren't spooky, right? They're not scary at all. They're just really good. So this is the book that comes to mind that is actually spooky, actually, like, scared me a little bit while I was listening to the audiobook. So, loved that. This is a really good, not too spooky because it is technically YA, even though it doesn't really feel like YA. It feels more like new adult, or if you want to use that category. But it feels a little bit more adult than YA, but still not too spooky. Very good if you're a little bit of a scaredy cat like me. Question number 6 is, what is the ultimate comfort read for you? And again, it's right here on my favorites shelf, The Night Circus. I was trying to think of another book that I could answer this question with, but honestly, this is the book that when I'm not feeling it, like if I'm just not feeling good in like an emotional sense, if I feel like I need comfort for any reason, like this is what comes to mind. This is my comfort book. Question 7 is, what is your favorite autumnal reading snack? Popcorn, I think. Popcorn is one of my favorite snacks of all time. I actually don't snack a whole lot. We never keep snacks in the house, and it's something that I try to do more of because sometimes I feel like I just need a snack. But I'm also really bad at finishing snacks, which is why we almost only ever have popcorn in the house, because I will eat most of a bag of chips and then be like, well, I'm done, and then leave like still a full portion size of chips in the bottom of the bag until they go really stale and you don't want to eat them, and then I just end up throwing them away. So we don't keep a lot of snacks in the house. Snack bags like never really get finished around here. I don't know why I like give up when they're almost gone, but I do love snacking on popcorn. I also love snacking on Chex Mix. I make homemade Chex Mix, but I never do that while I'm reading because I always just devote all of my attention to the Chex Mix because I love it so much. I'm like, okay, my activity right now is eating this snack. Question number 8 is, what is your favorite autumnal candle to burn whilst reading? I have a few candles I like to burn. One of them, I don't remember the name of it, and we got it at a gas station in southern Idaho, and it's just wild. Okay, we're driving through Idaho. We stop at this gas station and I see this candle, and it's like locally handmade, and it smells amazing. It smells like a cinnamon roll, and it is a really good like fall. I also use it in winter too. As you're starting to get into the cozy season, it just smells so good. Also, there's a candle that I haven't been able to burn for a while because I used it up. I've held on to the jar so I can buy myself a new one when I'm in the market for a new candle. I have some I need to get through before I'm going to buy myself another one. But it's Fresh Fig and Cardamom by Patty Wax. It smells so ridiculously good. It is honestly one of my favorite candles I've ever had. And I love cardamom, and like the fresh fig and the cardamom smell together is just impeccable. Question 9 is, when you're not reading, what is your favorite autumnal activity? And this is definitely watching movies. Autumn and winter are the only times I really get in a movie watching mood. I don't typically like to watch movies. I also always have to do something while I'm watching a movie because I have to have my hands doing something I also like can't fully get sucked into a movie unless it's just like the best movie ever made. I don't know. Movies just don't work super well for me. Not much of a movie watcher. But I love Halloween movies and I love Christmas movies. So I do watch a lot of movies during this time of year. Also, there's a lot of sports that are on this time of year. And I watch a lot, like so much basketball. I'm watching basketball like almost every day. And then this year, I started getting into American football, which is weird for me. I've never liked it before. I've actually actively disliked it for most of my life. But this year I've been really into it and really into watching it. So I don't know what that says, but I spend a lot of time watching things during the autumn time, both movies and sports. Also, another thing that came to mind, I play music all the time, but during the autumn is when I start pulling out my Christmas music, and playing Christmas music on the piano is one of my favorite activities. Also, singing Christmas songs, I love it a lot. So that's one thing I do. I also have a Halloween book, so when it's before Halloween and I haven't quite gotten into the Christmas music yet, I play some songs out of my Halloween book, which is really fun. And lastly, question number 10 is, what is on your autumn/fall reading list? Honestly, everything that's been in my TBRs recently. So The Midnight Library is what I'm reading actually right now. I'm not gonna say anything about what I think, but I'll be talking about it in the future, I'm sure. So The Midnight Library was on it. Alive by Piers Paul Reed is a book I wanted to get to. Spindle's End by Robin McKinley. Honestly, since we are kind of getting closer to the end of autumn, these are a lot of books that I would just like to read before the end of the year. Project Hail Mary, but like I said, a lot of the books that just have been in my TBRs recently, and honestly, whatever I just end up mood reading, because I've been in a little bit of a mood read mode recently, so I haven't been planning my reads as much as I normally do, and I've just been seeing what sounds good to me. And that was everything in the Cozy Autumn book tag. I'm not going to tag anyone because I know a lot of people have already done this. Also, I feel like we're starting to transition away from autumn, even though it's technically still the season. We're kind of moving more into winter things. So I'm not going to tag anyone. This was a really fun tag though. So thank you, V, for tagging me. Let me know down in the comments some of your answers to any of these questions, or just what you were wanting to read before the end of the year. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!